Editing is a key step to turning your raw footage into your vision for a movie. A good edit can make it that much better, while a bad one can ruin it. That's why we chose to cover the basics of editing this week. One could argue that editing is the most important step of filmmaking. We think Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu said it best, that movies become art after editing. Before post-production, all you have is your raw footage. Once you begin to edit, you can make your ideas and your stories come to life. Here are some tips to help beginning filmmakers edit.
To save yourself hours of digging through footage that you don't want to waste time doing, it's important that you organize your clips to make your life a lot easier. For this tutorial, we're going to be using iMovie by Apple because it's one of the cheapest softwares that beginners can use to start editing their movies. Making different folders for different scenes of your movie is quite important because it helps you find certain clips that you want to use now and ones that you don't need, you can use them later. We started organizing our clips about a year ago, and it made our lives a lot easier while editing the movies. It saved us so much time that could be used doing more important things for our film. After you have imported your clips and then organized them, it's time to start selecting which parts of them you want to use for your movie. Most editors will let you select an initial portion of your clip to drag into the timeline. Now, after you drag all your clips into the timeline, you can trim them even further, just by moving your mouse over the edge of a clip and clicking and dragging, making it longer or shorter as you please. It's important to remember that the way you trim your clips has an effect on the feel of your film. Clips that are trimmed and cut to be shorter and quicker, closer together, will give that more intense, panicked feel, and if that's what you're going for, you should do that. But if you want your film to be more relaxed or quiet, you should trim your clips so that they're longer and there's not as many quick cuts in between clips. It's also important to remember that you shouldn't settle once you think you've trimmed all your clips. It's important to go back and look through your whole project to look for errors that you might have made or look for dead space in your videos that you could cut out to make it shorter. You don't want your audience getting bored while you're showing them your film.
One mistake we made when we were starting out as filmmakers were using jump cuts. Jump cuts are when you have a shot and you cut to a different time during that shot. Here are a few examples.
Hey Ortega, you remember to do your exercises this morning? It sure don't look like it.
Yes, Pulaski, I did. Say there's a dialogue scene between two people. One person is telling the other person some important information. To avoid jump cutting in this scene, you can add a shot of the other person listening while still keeping the audio of the first person talking.
You remember to do your exercises this morning?
Yes, Pulaski, I did.
Well, it sure don't look like it.
This makes the scene go a lot smoother and not as choppy as if we were to just use only shots from the person talking. Another way to move the scene along without jump cutting is using transitions. In iMovie and most basic editing softwares, you'll be given a variety of different transitions that you can add to your footage. Depending on the style you're looking for, you can choose a transition and add it to your editing timeline to help move the scene along. Just recently, we've been using fade to black less, and we've been using cut to black more. The reason for this is because it gives it more of a dramatic look.
Now that you got your clips all cut and you've applied the transitions you want, it's time to add some filters or effects to your clips. Adding the right filter can really make your film look that much more professional. Filters often come built into your editing software, and in iMovie, there are plenty of presets to choose from that should fit your situation. Adding a filter basically changes the coloration of your shot and can also drastically change the mood that it gives off to your audience. Let's say you have a shot of somebody walking home after a bad day. They're really sad and it's a dark time, so maybe you want to add a filter that applies some cooler colors, like blue. Why would you want to do this? Well, blue and cooler colors are often associated with people that are sad or going through dark times. Or if you wanted a more lively shot, you could add some warmer colors, like reds and oranges, to give off that more happy, cheerful, relaxed feel to your shot. As we have become more advanced, we have moved on to greater coloring techniques known as color correction and color grading. and we'll go more in depth with these in another episode. It's important to remember that adding filters and color to your shots is an art. There are no rules for it. Just because you think blue might make the shot feel more sad, you can feel free to experiment with all sorts of colors. Maybe one actually fits your shot better than you would have originally thought. That's why there's so much creativity you can do with altering the colors of your shots.
Titles and text can be used for all sorts of purposes for your films. All the way from naming the title of your film to introducing someone in an interview. The possibilities are endless for using titles for creative uses. Usually your editor will come with a bunch of presets for titles, but you can tweak them to make them however you want. Having good or bad audio can be the make it or break it point of your movie. The audience usually will be able to tolerate bad looking quality image with decent audio. Hey, one day, I'm gonna be stronger than you. I'm gonna be more powerful than you. But the audience usually won't be able to tolerate good looking image with bad audio.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Pulaski, I did.
In a later episode, we'll go more in depth with the technical terms such as EQ and compression. In iMovie and most basic editing programs, you can change the volume of your audio manually. Also, adding music helps emphasize the emotion you're looking for in a certain scene of a film. Some examples are a couple scenes from our latest feature film, Time 3. In this scene, we're wanting the audience to experience dramatic and sad emotions, so we chose music to complement the feel. Without the music, the audience doesn't feel as emotional about the character. Not using music, though, can also be used for artistic purposes, such as going for a dramatic effect.
Now that your film is complete, it's time to share it with the world, or whoever you plan on sharing it with. It's important to watch your film one more time, to look at any mistakes you might have missed earlier while editing. Once you're sure that your movie is 100% how you like it, it's time to go to the button in your editor that either says export or share. From there, you can choose the settings you want to export your video with, its name, where it will be stored, its resolution. Once you have all your settings checked, you're ready to hit that export button. Now, you just wait for your computer to do the rest, and once it is done, your editing job is complete.
Hopefully by now you have a better understanding of how to edit your film. If we forgot to mention anything, please comment below and we'll be happy to answer your questions. I'm Mackie Mallison.
And I'm Henry Craddock, and we'll see you in the next episode.